Good morning. Welcome to Christian Reconciliation Ministries. I want to talk to you today about something that I believe to be of major importance in the world. The world is suffering from a plague or pestilence brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, and the people and the world are searching for answers. The title of my message today is Where is the Church? The world is being ravaged by plagues of all kinds. The world is being ravaged by the plague of hatred, violence, rioting, murder, and lawlessness, and the whole world is searching for answers. The world is searching for answers to its problems, but it's unable to find them. The reason I believe that is that they're searching in all the wrong places. Listen, people, the key to finding the right answers to anything is found in the Bible. I know that'll turn a lot of you off and you'll quit listening to what I'm about to tell you, but I challenge you to keep on listening anyway. This is serious business. We should quit wasting our time searching for answers that don't work. Mankind will never find a way to control a pandemic or a plague that is sent by God. You heard me right. I believe this plague is God sent. And the Bible confirms that God sends plagues as punishments for evils, and it's only pure arrogance for a man to think that he can control a plague that is sent upon us by the Lord himself. Some scriptures that support that belief are found in Exodus chapter 11 and verse 1, Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 25, in 2 Samuel chapter 24 and verse 15, and in 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 13, and also in many other places in the Bible. In the Bible there are many words for plagues and pestilences, but they all mean widespread death and destruction and suffering. Plagues and pestilences are used by God as a means of punishment or judgment for some evil that is committed, and usually by the rulers of the nations. Jesus and his disciples had visited the beautiful temple in Jerusalem, and Jesus had predicted the total destruction of the temple. His disciples wanted to know, when will this happen? Now I want to read to you from the Gospel of Matthew, and these scriptures are taken from the New King James Version of the Bible. Now, as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceives you. For many will come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you're not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Now I want to ask you this. Can anyone reasonably deny that the world is not in that spot right now? I know that was over 2,000 years ago that Jesus predicted this. And the Roman armies led by Titus in the year of 70 AD destroyed the city of Jerusalem and the temple, and they murdered thousands of Christians and Jews in the process. And all of Jesus' predictions have come to pass many times since that time. But Jesus said, all these are the beginning of sorrows. So we have seen the beginning of sorrows, and they are continuing to this very present time. That was only the beginning, but many more of Jesus' predictions have come to pass since then. Then he said, then they shall deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and ye will be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Let me ask you, which nation of all nations right now is the most hated nation upon the earth? It's not Russia. It's not China. It's not North Korea. It is the little tiny nation of Israel. That's right. Israel is the most hated nation on the face of this earth. Israel and the U.S. together are the most hated. America is hated because we are friends to the Israelites. Israel and the U.S. are hated by the entire Arab world, and they would destroy us if they were able to do so. Remember, Iran has people that chant death to Israel and death to America. They do this regularly. They would destroy us if they could, but they're not able to do so yet. Jesus also said, and then shall many be offended, and will betray one another, and hate one another. Let me ask you again, honestly, have you ever seen as much hatred as is being bred by politics and religion and racism? Have we ever seen it acted out in the streets in rioting and destruction of property as we're seeing it now? These are unprecedented troubles, the likes of which mankind has never seen before. Jesus predicted that these troubles would be unprecedented. He didn't say the word unprecedented, but he said it would be like man has never seen before. Hate is destroying the very fabric of our country and others, and the hate spreaders just keep right on spreading it. Jesus said, many false prophets shall arise and deceive many. This is in Matthew 24:11. Lying and deception were Jesus' first concerns to warn his disciples of. Have you ever listened to the preaching being broadcast over the airwaves in the various churches on YouTube and on other media? There are almost as many and as varied doctrines being preached as there are preachers that preach them. There can't be dozens of noticeably different doctrines preached blatantly, and all of them be true. These doctrines vary from how to be saved, to what church you must be saved in, whether you're saved by works or saved by grace, which foods you can eat and which you can't eat, how you're to live, and a great host of other variations of religious doctrines. There are too many to discuss here. Any doctrine that is not plainly and 100% supported by the Bible, by the Holy Scriptures, is a false doctrine, my friends. Too many preachers are preaching false doctrines, and then they try to support them by twisting or misinterpreting other scriptures that make them sound like they agree with them. False teachers and false prophets have incurred the wrath and the rejection of Jesus Christ. The Apostle Paul told the Galatians, I marvel that you are turning away so soon from him who called you into the grace of Christ to a different gospel, which is not another, but there are some who trouble you and want to pervert the gospel of Christ. My friends, that's a fatal mistake on the part of a preacher, to pervert the gospel of Jesus Christ. How can a person know what to believe? It's simple. Just believe the gospel as it is written in the Bible. The gospel of Christ does not have a hidden agenda. That is the devil's purpose, to pervert the gospel and to make it appear to say something that it doesn't say, and to deceive people. And there are many false doctrines that have arisen on that very principle alone. Jesus said, "And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will wax cold." The King James Version uses the word iniquity in place of lawlessness. They're both sin. Sin is lawlessness. People are confused and deceived, and they are losing faith by the droves. Christian principles and precepts are being banned from our educational system, and people are being spiritually starved to death for lack of truth. Jesus said, "But he that endures to the end shall be saved." Too many people are not enduring. They are being deceived by false teachers and are quitting the faith. Paul said, "Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first, and the man of sin be revealed." This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Before the Lord returns, Paul predicted there would be a great falling away from the faith. Who can sensibly and intelligibly deny that we're in the midst of the great falling away right now? Who can deny that? The gospel teaches us how to endure. We have to resist the devil. We have to grow in grace. We have to fight the good fight of faith. We have to be sanctified or cleansed from all sin. Only those who endure and overcome will be saved. Lastly, Jesus said, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached into all the world as a witness to all nations, and then shall the end come." This is Matthew 24 and 14. Now that brings us to the question that I asked at the very beginning in my title: where is the church? Every mainline church has its missionaries throughout the world, delivering its own message to the world. But what message are they preaching? Each is preaching its own version of the gospel to the people. Catholics, Protestants, Reformed, Charismatics, and Independents all preach a message that is slanted toward their particular theological beliefs. Thank God there is a true church that is preaching a gospel that is unabridged, unslanted, and unperverted. This church is winning souls to God and not converts to a particular sect or belief. This is a true church. It's winning souls for the kingdom of heaven. There is a true church, my friends. Sadly, this church seems to be dwindling in numbers. It's critically outnumbered by false teachers and false preachers. Jesus said, "And I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. And whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on the earth will be loosed in heaven." Whatever the church binds is bound in heaven too, and whatever it looses is loosed in heaven. The key to the kingdom of heaven is the gospel of Jesus Christ. It sets people free from the power of sin. The same keys are also the keys to finding the answers of all the problems of the world. These answers work either for the church or for the problems of the world. It's about time the leaders of this world woke up and realized and admitted that the problem that has brought these calamities upon us is sin. Sin is a contaminator and a corrupter and a destroyer. There is no problem in the world that God cannot fix. The true church of Jesus Christ, not the earthly sect which goes by that name, but the true church of Jesus Christ holds all the right keys. My friends, God is still looking for preachers who will dare to preach the truth and stand in the gaps and make up the hedge. The first line of defense is the church of Jesus Christ. It's about time the leaders of this world woke up and realized that the church has some answers. Sin is a sin. Sin is a contaminator. Sin is a corrupter. Sin is a destroyer. There is no problem in the world that God cannot fix. The true church of Jesus Christ holds all the right keys. My friends, God is still looking for preachers. There are too many schisms in the church, too many theological differences, too many uncertain sounds, too many false and deceptive messages being preached. Dear people, there is a true church, the church that Jesus is coming back to claim as his own. Will you be a part of that church? I believe Jesus is coming soon. I base that on the scriptures, and I have studied them well for many years now. But Jesus is coming back. He's coming back soon. Are you ready? Now is a great time to get ready if you are not ready. Give your heart to Jesus. Follow him. Live for him. And he will make a brand new person out of you. Thank you, and God bless you for listening to this message.